What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing home the bacon. NBA DFS video. It is Sunday. It is December 31st. It is the last day of 2023, which is nuts. It is New Year's Eve. Hopefully, the video finds you doing well. Hopefully, you did well this weekend, whether or not you played NBA DFS, whether or not you sports bet, whether or not you played NFL on Friday or Thursday and Saturday. Hopefully, you had some success. If you did, congratulations. If you did not, and you're just so close to getting that final step, hopefully you're in the right spot. Not only do we do a lot of things on these videos, if you check out the link in the description, we have a great Discord that is starting to get more traction, more people talking, and hopefully making you a better DFS player. That being said, we're going to go over the NBA slate. We're going to look at it. We've got a 5-game main slate that's starting at 7 Eastern, 6 Central. We've got NFL content today. So if you've been on the fence about signing up, go check out FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. FTA Plus tab right here. You can sign up for DFS plus sports betting. You can get a week worth. You can get a month. So currently right now with the month, that would obviously include NBA and NFL. The NFL is going to be through pretty much the playoffs. I'm very, very sad the NFL is done very soon. We've got sports betting. We've got NFL. We've got PGA. NASCAR will be back in about a month and a half. Baseball will be back in about 2.5 months. So we're very excited for what we've got going on. I was just, for people who've been here before with MLB, you know what I'm talking about. For people who haven't, I was just looking at some of the old articles that we had, some of the videos that we had breaking down the slate, breaking down just the overall. So if you don't know what we do here, check out this video, and then I suggest go check out our playlist and go check out our MLB videos from basically the end of September on, before the playoffs started, and look how in-depth we were with the MLB. It's my favorite sport. It's my most knowledgeable sport for DFS and in real life. So very excited for everything that has offered there. But we're here for NBA. So that being said, we're just going to look at the Vegas numbers real quick. We do have 2 games that, or we have a game here that we can't, unfortunately, unless you're playing like an all-day slate. It's not on the main slate. And, of course, it's the highest over-under, 252.5, Wizards versus Hawks. But then if we've filtered it down by over-under, we've got Spurs versus Celtics. Celtics are a 13-point favorite, so this could be a blowout. So this is something where I'm going to say be careful with the players you use, because if it is, in fact, a blowout and they pull the players, we could get screwed on the minutes played and the production after that. You've got Grizz versus Kings, close game, 1-point spread, 237.5 over-under. Thunder Nets, Thunder being a 7.5-point favorite, 237 over-under. Suns Magic, Sun being a 5.5-point favorite, 229.5 over-under. And then we've got Pelicans Lakers, Pelicans being a 5.5-point favorite, which I really like for my favorite play of the night, 229 over-under. So those are your Vegas numbers. And we're going to go through a lot of things. If you've never been here before, if the video gets at least 50 likes, you leave a comment, you are a YouTube subscriber, you have a chance to win a free week of DFS content. If the video gets 100 likes, you have a chance to win a free month. 125 likes, a chance to win a free year. And if any of our videos ever get 150 or more likes, you leave a comment, you are a YouTube subscriber, you have a chance to win a lifetime pass, normally worth $499. That being said, there's another way to do it. Like the video, be a subscriber, and tell me what player is going to score the most amount of DraftKings fantasy points on this main slate, and how many DraftKings points are they going to score. So say you do Anthony Davis, 75 fantasy points. If you get it the closest without going over, Price is Right rules per usual, you will win a free week of DFS content in sports betting. If you get it exactly correct, the exact amount of fantasy points, we're going to give you a free month of DFS content. So we're going to do that throughout the rest of the NBA season. We are very excited for you there. So that being said, we're going to go over this article. If you would be awesome and kind enough to click on the link for this article down below just to get us views so we can get the algorithm going, not only here on YouTube, but on our website as well for Google, that would be awesome. If you leave a comment in that video too, that article, that would be amazing as well. You don't have to. Clicking on the ads helps the channel out as well. So anytime we have at least 5 games on a slate, we're going to give you 3 top, 3 mid, and 3 value picks at each position. We'll give you projections as well. These projections are basically floor projections. We're not going to project out Anthony Davis for 75 or 80 plus. We know he can get there. We know that Giannis had a 95-point game. We know that Luka had a 95 fantasy point outage just a little bit ago. We're never going to project out that much, but we give you so many tools here. So we do have people say, why are you giving us the whole slate with 5 games? We're not. These are some projections. The rest will be on the website, and we will talk about that at the end of the video. So and these are early morning. These can change a little bit, and we will have this updated for our player projections, our simulations, everything we have to offer on the site. I will show you at the end of the video. So stick around after this, and we will hopefully make you a better DFS player. So looking at that, we've got SGA here, our top point guard at 51 fantasy points. We got Ja Morant at 47, De'Aaron Fox 46. Mid-tier, we got Spencer Dinwiddie at 33. We've got Jeremy Sokin at 31 and Cam Thomas 29. And then your value, we got Cole Anthony at 27, Josh Giddey at 26, and Peyton Pritchard at 23 fantasy points. Now, again, these fantasy points can change, and the value plays will change throughout the day. We do have several questionable players. Some are probable. Some will hold that questionable tag all the way up until whenever the rosters need to be reported for NBA. I think 90 minutes or shoot around. Just depends on when it is. So value will open up throughout the day. That is why I say check this article early in the morning, but then check out the rest of the information that we have on the site, which we will show. Shooting guard, we got Devin Booker at 44 fantasy points, Jaylen Brown at 42, but that Jaylen Brown play could either be great because maybe he is part of the player pool that dominates for the Celtics and then gets pulled, or he's one that lacks behind and then gets pulled for bench players because they are so far ahead. That's definitely something to look at. We got Desmond Bane at 41. Mid-tier is Devin Vassell 35, Bradley Beal 28, Marcus Smart 28, and then some value, Grayson Allen 27, Eric Gordon 24, and Malachi Branham 23 fantasy points. Moving to the small forward, you got LeBron James at 49 fantasy points, Jason Tatum 47, Brandon Ingram, I believe, let me check real quick. As I thought, the 4 didn't go in there. We've got Brandon Ingram at 42 fantasy points. Mid-tier small forward, you've got Michael Bridges 35, Keldon Johnson 34, Jalen Williams 33, and then your value picks so far, Taurean Prince 26, Lou Dort 23, and Sam Hauser at 23 fantasy points. Now, the new thing, at least what I've been noticing the past like a week or so, LeBron James now, I at first I thought he had small forward and power forward eligibility. Now it's kind of changed to point guard and small forward, at least on DraftKings. I don't know about FanDuel. That's kind of new, kind of neat if you want to, use it that way. At least on DraftKings anyway. I could be wrong. I don't think it's been that long though. And then we've got our favorite plays here for power forward, Anthony Davis at 55 fantasy points. I would not be surprised if he goes for more than that. I absolutely love Anthony Davis today. That's why he's the picture of the video and the article. I think he is in store for a fantastic game here. We got Kevin Durant at 47 and Victor Wembanyama at 42. Mid-tier, Jaren Jackson Jr., who also has center eligibility at 34 fantasy points. Keegan Murray at 29. Cam Johnson 29, and then some value here, which I don't know if I'm going to have much value. Again, hopefully more value opens up because I'm not in love with these plays, but these are the value plays as of now. Dorian Finney-Smith at 22, Harrison Barnes 22, and Herbert Jones at 22 fantasy points. Then we move to the center position. Sabonis here at 48, Chet Holmgren 37, Yusuf Nurkic 34. Mid-tier picks, Nick Claxton, who is questionable right now, at 34. I think he's probable. I think Nick Claxton has the questionable tag, but if you click into it, he's probable. Jonas Valanciunas at 33. Zach Collins, who is actually questionable. This is one to monitor. Probably not going to use him much at all anyway, at 30 fantasy points. And then value, Christian Wood, 24, Mo Wagner, 24, and Xavier Tillman, 20. Normally, center position, I don't normally pay down for unless it's like a tournament. So those are just some of the projections. If you want to see all of them, depending on when you watch this video, we kind of wait till the afternoon to update it for any news and stuff. If you go to the NBA tab, we have simulation models that will be updated, and those are pretty good. People have been loving those. We do have AI simulation. We did simulations with MLB, and it's easy to do with MLB, and it's kind of easy to do here. It's not the easiest to do with NFL, just because you know, like for instance, not that I'm complaining, I am in the Fantasy Football Championship, but like a Jahmyr Gibbs, he's not the starter, but he's the starter. But then David Montgomery comes in and vultures touchdowns. Jahmyr could come in, play 1 down, and then David Montgomery plays 3 downs. It's annoying, and it's kind of why simulations are a little bit harder. With basketball, you kind of can simulate more how many minutes they're going to play, you know, usage and stuff like that. So we've got simulations there. We've got points allowed by position, which is this right here. If you play DraftKings or Fanduel, whichever you play, you can kind of build it that way. So if you want to see what team is worst overall against the point guard, you got the Spurs giving up 56.9 fantasy points per game on DraftKings, stuff like that. We have Vegas odds, which we went over at the beginning. We have DFS top plays, which I'm going to give you a couple at the end here. What that is it splits out between FanDuel and DraftKings, and then between DVP and implied team totals. So we've got a lot going on there. Hopefully those help you out. I've heard good things about that, especially on our Discord. We've got our player projection. So anyone who's projected at least 1 fantasy point or more on this slate will be on there. So definitely check those out. Those are usually a couple hours before game time for the main slate, just because we want to wait for as much news as we possibly can. We've got our DFS chalk, so our chalkboard, which is I think it's the top 10 at each position, both FanDuel and DraftKings. We have the player, our projected fantasy points, and then we have ownership. So the ownership is the big key. So if you play cash games, you want to go with the chalk. You want to play those players at the highest ownership percentage because you want to stay with the field just to cash. In tournaments, you want to pivot a little bit. You want to look at the players. You want to see if that matches up with your player pool. And then with that, you want to play the lower owned guys that also have high fantasy points projections, because you want to have leverage on the field. We've got our cheat sheet, which includes every single position. There's at least 5 games. It'll have at least 5 cash and normally 4 or 5 cash and 4 or 5 tournament plays at each position. It's got leverage plays. It's got DraftKings tiers. It does have optimal lineups, both FanDuel and DraftKings, which are a great starting point, not a copy-paste point. What I mean by that is if you're looking for just lineups to be bought, probably go get scammed on Twitter or something like that. We give you the tools. We give you the lineups to start. We give you what you need to become a better DFS player. That is the goal of Fantasy Team Advisors. That is the advisors part. If you just want lineups to be sold to you, probably the wrong spot. While we do have lineups, I say this to everyone, they're a great starting point, but not an end-all, be-all copy-paste. And then we have our NBA bets. So we don't have bets every day, but we have NFL and NBA as well. So and you can see it's highlighted green and red. So this is a difference. Not players. People like It's Vegas Dave, if you know who that scammer is. He never loses. He's never lost one day in his life, except when he puts a video up saying next week's free or something like that. We show you the wins and losses. We're not perfect, obviously. They are if you're looking for a spot to start, they are a good spot to start there. We're going to start a $10 to $1,000 ladder climb challenge. Hopefully, we can hit that. It just depends. I will have that linked into the Discord as well. But a good rule of thumb and opportunity to find a scammer would be It's Vegas Dave or Cody Covers Spreads or Cody Covers Bets or something like that on Instagram. If you cannot comment on any of their videos, there's a reason why. They don't win everything. They don't win every single night. That is impossible. If they won every single night, they would not be selling you packages. That is just a fact. We give you the opportunity. We're not just selling picks. So that being said, we can take a look real quick at the matchups here.
We've done this before. You can see this game, it's a high over-under. We can't play it on the main slate, so we're going to skip it. Celtics, Spurs. This has, you can see the Spurs are a, they're the favorited in the category, all categories but points per game, which is a Celtics, and offensive rating. And this could be a blowout. So you've got to figure out the correct Celtics players to play before if this blowout actually happens. Lakers versus Pelicans. Pelicans are the favorite here, 229 over under. Pelicans own points per game, offensive rating and defensive rating, and they are projected to win this game. This is one where I don't know. This is where I would look at. I would definitely, my favorite play of the day is Anthony Davis. Nets versus Thunder. Thunder own all the categories except opponents, points per game, and defensive rating, which would say, hey, take the Thunder players. Because the Nets aren't the best. Kings versus Grizzlies. Kings are a this is a closer game than normal, 237.5 over under there. The only categories the Grizzlies actually hold right now are pace of play through the last 5 games and pace of play through the last 10 games. So they do have a higher pace of play, so more points could be scored in this game. Then we've got the Magic versus Suns. Suns being a favorite. The Magic hold pace of play last 5 and 10. So this could be a high-scoring game. This would show me that Magic are playing a high-paced game. Look at the Suns players. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to look at the player pool real quick. Now, this can change a little bit depending on what you're playing. We could definitely look at this. And some people like this, some people don't. So if you want to close off on this, then we could be done. But I wanted to show you the players, and we kind of did this at MLB as well. So we're just going to go depth chart by depth chart, look at all the plays that we like. So again, Boston could be a potential blowout. This is definitely one to look at. Basically, I like the players from Peyton Pritchard up to Jason Tatum. Al Horford, I think, is my favorite player at 5,800, as long as he can get the minutes in there. If you can get the minutes in there, I'm pretty good with that. And you see 37 minutes there. Didn't do much with 23.25 fantasy points. 23, 27, 38. He did well with 38 minutes there. 27 he did pretty well. Kind of with Detroit, it's kind of what happened there. Just definitely something to look at. But I don't think I'd go any lower than Peyton Pritchard for Boston. Especially in like a blow. With a blowout, though, you might be able to. It just depends. Like a Brissett. Is O'Shea Brissett going to get the minutes if it's a blowout? He could. I'm not playing a ton of minutes there, though. Luke Cornett. I don't know if he's going to play the minutes. He got 33 minutes 2 nights ago, 40 fantasy points at 3,400. I think he's going to be a very popular pick, especially if this is a blowout early. Luke Cornett could be in store for a good game at 4,100. Did jump up from 3,400 to 4,100 due to his amazing performance his last game. But then you see 8 minutes, 11, 17, not a ton of minutes being played there. So that would be a tournament. Luke Cornett would be a tournament play if, in fact, it is a blowout and he gets those minutes. Then you got Quetta here. The minutes aren't really there. This would be a blowout play if it is a blowout. So those are what I like there. San Antonio, obviously Wembanyama. Down to Malachi Branham, that's probably as low as I would go. So Branham and up if you are using any San Antonio players. Go to Brooklyn with Ben Simmons out, Nick Claxton being questionable, but I believe he is probable. Okay, so he should play. It's basically Dorian Finney-Smith and up. You could sprinkle in a little bit of Royce O'Neal. The minutes just not playing 20 minutes. I don't like that. It's probably Dorian Finney-Smith and up for me for Brooklyn. OKC, obviously SGA and Holmgren are in. Probably looking at Aaron Wiggins. You getting any minutes? Yeah, the minutes aren't there for him. It's probably minutes for Kenrick. They're fluctuating. It's probably not Kenrick either. It's probably... There's not a ton, to be honest with you. He's not... I mean, he's had his last game, 17 minutes. It's probably Dort and up. There's not a ton of OKC players that I feel confident about. So that's probably where I'd cut it off for OKC. The Lakers here, D'Angelo Russell's out. Love Anthony Davis. Love LeBron. I don't think you can be able to fit both of them in there. It's basically... yeah, Christian Wood's not getting the minutes, and they are actually possibly losing this one. Probably Hachimura and up. With Russell being out, that does open up a little bit here. LeBron James being able to play point guard too opens up a little bit on the other side. New Orleans players, I'm probably looking at Najee Marshall and up, depending if he's going to get the minutes. 16 minutes isn't enough. He is 3,400. They are supposed to win, so he might not even get in there if they're up but not up big. So it's probably Herbert Jones and up, but I might throw in a little bit Alvarado or Marshall for tournaments. Then we got Sacramento. Basically Trey Lyles and up here for me. Sabonis is a fantastic spot. Keegan Murray, De'Aaron Fox, I love those two plays. And the difference here, Keegan Murray at 6,200. The minutes, they are there. He's playing 36 plus. You know, hasn't had the best output here. He is chucking up threes. We did see he made 11. So in this game against Utah, he made 11 straight three-pointers. Made 12 total, 11 straight. He is, you know, he does chuck it up there. If they go in, they go in. So if he is on, he is definitely on. That game, he had 70 fantasy points at 6,100. So basically, yeah, Trey Lyles and up, but I do love me some Fox and Murray if you don't want to pay up for Sabonis. Well, I mean, Fox only $100 less. Then we got Memphis. You got Ja Morant. Basically down Xavier Tillman and up. I don't know how much Memphis I will have. Some Morant here, some Desmond Bain, Jaren Jackson Jr., Marcus Smart. Those four I do like. You got Vince Williams Jr. Maybe tournaments, but that's probably it for him. Then we go Orlando. There's a lot of questionable players in Orlando, which, again, throughout the day, could open up value here. So definitely look at that. Mo Wagner, I do like. Goga, it depends on the minutes. Those fluctuate so much. 30 minutes his last game. 9, 12, 11, 12. Just depends. If he's not going to get the minutes, be in a center position here, probably like Mo Wagner over him a little bit more. And then Bonchero down to Cole Anthony is what I would look at. And then finally, Phoenix. Obviously Durant, obviously Devin Booker are a given. Yusuf Nurkic is a given. Bradley Beal, you know, has been hurt a lot. The minutes, played 30 minutes his last game, and then had 2 weeks off. And then he played 5 minutes because he re-aggravated his injury. And then he played a couple of games here. You can just see it's very sporadic. So yeah, it's hard to narrow down how many minutes he'll actually play because he's only played 1 game since coming back from injury, and that was 30 minutes. That was 2 days ago, so he's had the rest. That is definitely something to look at. So Bradley Beal, probably only feel confident with him being a tournament play. Grayson Allen, I don't mind. Eric Gordon, I don't mind. Eubanks tournament, I'm okay with, but I don't love it. And then Metu here, minutes, they're not bad, to be honest. And you see on Christmas at 3,800 went for 52.75. And he's still only 4,100. So if he gets in there, I don't mind him as a cheap play as well. So that being said, we do have some of our top plays, which I mentioned before. Just kind of go over the top. We'll go over via DraftKings, but via DVP or defense versus position. Chet Holmgren on for number 1. Daron Sharp is a cheaper option at center. Number 2, Derek White, point guard or shooting guard, depending on what you do, at number 3. Drew Holiday, same thing, number 4. And then Peyton Pritchard against San Antonio. So really loving Boston players here, DVP. And then implied team totals. We look at this. Jason Tatum, again, watch this blowout factor here. Jaylen Brown, it's going to be all of them. As of now, it's Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Kristaps Porzingis, Drew Holiday, and Derek White, all with a team total of 127 in this game here. So, that being said, I caution a little bit with being a blowout potential in some of these games, especially Boston. So, kind of got to figure out which players you're going to play for Boston to feel confident. So, that's what I've got in this video. Have a fantastic and safe New Year's Eve if you celebrate and go out. Hopefully you celebrate with a tournament takedown, or at least positive ROI on this slate. Definitely check out everything we have to offer on the site. Go to FantasyTeamAdvisors.com and go check out the Discord. We are getting more and more people to show up, getting more and more discussions. You guys are asking me questions. You're asking each other questions. You're bouncing ideas off each other. You're showing your winning lineups, which is awesome. We have a tab for that as well. So that's what I've got. Good luck on the slate, everybody. Let's bring home some bacon. Peace.